come to find out that the woman who was the understudy is actually the star of the show, but she had to leave for a year due to a toe injury, which according to ballet people is a fairly catastrophic injury. They said that she left for a year and that Gemma took over her role. And even Gemma knew that it was temporary. And there was no hard feelings about that. They're actually quite good friends. And then she put on this girl who was the actual star, put on 15 pounds while she was gone. And they kind of thought her story was a bit hinky. They didn't believe what she was saying. So they subpoenaed her medical records. Come find out she was actually seeing an obstetrician because she was pregnant. Joshua they were fighting over was her son. Whoever Joshua's father was is the same man that sexually assaulted Gemma. Come to find out, the ballet coach was actually Joshua's father, and his mother was trying to protect him because she didn't want Joshua to grow up without a father. And she didn't think that he would have to assault somebody just to have sexual gratification. What I saw in the episode, he was a really good-looking guy, athletic build, very handsome, well-liked. No, he wouldn't have had to force anybody. But apparently, he had to force her because she did not want him. And when he realized she was going to the cops and going to press charges, he couldn't let her talk, so he threw her off the building and killed her. So he gets arrested, and she starts to realize that since this guy from this government agency tried to kill her, that her obsession is getting out of hand. And she's hurting people. She's hurting her sister, she's hurting her friends, she's hurt Vincent, and she doesn't want to do that anymore. She doesn't want to be obsessed anymore. So she goes over to the chemical factory where he lives to talk to him, and she finds out from JT, who's acting uncharacteristically nice, that Vincent took off. All his stuff is gone, and he's disappeared. Perhaps he was too afraid that he was going to be caught. So she writes a letter to him, enclosing the picture that she took, and she said, "Look, I know that you don't know me anything. Can you just give him this? And you never have to see me ever again. And give this to him if you see me." And apparently JT did see him, because later on that night, she gets home and she manages to reconcile with her sister, who was very close to moving back in with their father. And she convinced her to stay because she wanted her to stay. She finds a piece of paper tucked in her mail that says ballet roof from Vincent. So she goes and meets him up there, and he says, "You know, I read your manifesto. Well, at least two pages of it anyway." And they kind of reconcile a bit, and she's like, "Can you start over? You know, I didn't want to make you the object of my obsession. I didn't want to treat you like a case or like a victim." So they kind of try to start over, and the episode ends with them talking over the photograph, supposedly about his past, and about his friends anyway. I'm not going to talk about the case because it was so inconsequential, it was ridiculous. It had nothing to do with him whatsoever, other than saying that the girl, you can hear the girl's pulse race. The actor who plays Vincent, I'll say he was a little less witty than he was before.
Where's that box of all my paints and I asked you to pull out for me? What'd you do with it?
It's on the shelf, up there. The white box right in front of you.
I thought it was a clear container, my bad.
So, like I said, a little less wooden than he was before, but not by much. He's definitely showing more emotion than he was before. I've heard some spoilers or some theories going around that they think that the more times he shifts, the more permanent it's going to appear to be. And he's going to be looking less human, more beastly as time goes on. I'm actually for that. Definitely for that. I know it probably costs them more money to do the special effects, but I really don't care. Because that's the whole premise of the show. Kind of defeats the purpose, him being able to look oh so pretty when he's supposed to be a beast. Little side note, something that I was not aware of. I knew that Ron Kozlo was the executive producer of this. Ron Kozlo, who originally was the executive producer of the original Beauty and the Beast. I was surprised to learn, via the closing credits, that Tony Thomas and Paul Junger-Witt, who were also executive producers of the original show, are executive producing this one. They're like the triad, the three. So the same people that did the original are doing this one, which makes me wonder, why is this one turning out to be such crap?
Yeah, why the ass raping?
Because they knew the way that they wanted it. Oh, and another thing, you definitely know that this is a Ron Kozlo special because the scene transitions in the New York skyline, he pretty much took a direct page out of the Moonlight handbook. If you've ever seen the show Moonlight and you watch the transitional scenes of the LA skyline from day to night and whatever, and the fast way that it goes, it's the exact same. Exact same. And the subdued lighting and all that, it's the exact same. And the police officer, the lieutenant in this one who's in charge of Catherine and Vargas is the same actor who played Lieutenant Carl Davis in Moonlight. So, yeah, I guess he took people he already knew because it would just be easier that way. It's like Moonlight without the vampires. Yeah, basically it's Moonlight without the vampires, only not as good. That's about it. Yeah, really, that's about it. Even this governmental storyline that they're doing is not interesting. And what is pissing me off most of all is that the two of them have like zero chemistry. I mean it. Zero chemistry. And the thing with the Vincent and Catherine from the original show is that they had chemistry almost immediately. From the moment they first laid eyes on each other, it was immediate. And you couldn't put a piece of paper between them. They were like this. They had an understanding. They had. It's so hard to describe unless you've actually seen the show.
Oh, Vincent, oh, Vincent.
In this show, all the two of them have towards each other is animosity. Seriously, all they have towards each other at this point is animosity and bitterness. They didn't seem to really make up even the littlest bit till the very end. And when she was getting her ass kicked by the assassin, he didn't come in and save her until the guy was choking her out. If it was Vincent, if this was our Vincent, like the Vincent we know, he would have been there within like 2.5 seconds. Really? Well, I mean, there's no empathic connection like there was in the original, so you gotta give him that. The only reason he knows that she's in danger is because he's physically following her everywhere, like stalking her. I don't know what else to say. I want to give the show a chance, I really do, but I feel like it's all for naught. So I guess that's pretty much it for episode 2. Preview for episode 3 was really good. Really good, as in I think Linda's going to get captured by people that are looking for him, or they're going to try to go through her and convince her to turn him over, something along those lines. And I think it's really going to be a test of whether or not he can trust her, and just how tight they really are, because right now they're not tight at all, and it's kind of ridiculous. They're supposed to have this relationship, and they don't have very much of anything.
Yeah, she's saying she can't understand how
Well, that's about it. So peace out, and we'll talk to you next Thursday after episode 3.